Weird because I haven't hit start yet. Want to check it again?
You were live for like a second.
Okay, I should be good now. Alright, so when you guys open your Ultimate Bouncy Ball rig, we gotta change a couple things before we get into the animation part of this. So this should be everybody's view whenever you open it. We want to go up to panels. We want to go where it says layouts. And instead of having it be single pane like it is right here by default, we want to do 2 panes stacked. This should be the third option from the top. And then that should give you another pane down here, like another window. Okay. Yours by default is not going to be like mine. Mine's different. All I did was I go to panels. I go to panel. So it's panels and then panel. And then I'm clicking on this guy right here. It says Graph Editor.
Graph editor?
Graph Editor, yes.
There it is.
Right. Once you click on that, you should get this little timeline looking thing down here. And if I scrub through this, and this is also affecting my Maya timeline down here. Before we continue, I want to right click on this bottom timeline.
Right click, you said?
Yeah, right click.
On the bottom timeline?
Yes.
What does that mean? Bottom timeline?
Yeah, so you see you see there's 2 timelines. We got the one with the yellow line and we got the one down here.
Oh, okay. I didn't see that.
No, you're good. So I right click on that. I'm going to go up to playback speed and I want to click real time.
You said click playback speed?
Yeah, and then click real time.
Click real time, okay.
Yeah. All right. The reason why we want that is because if I go and I hit play, it'll go through this, and it's 24 frames a second. There's 24 frames here, so that is 1 second, and it should, loop. It should do all that. By default, it's not on real time. By default, it's on play every frame free, and when I click on that, it goes crazy because there's no frame here. There's no keyframed animation, so it doesn't know what to do. So it's just kind of freaking out. We don't like that. We just like for it to be in real time. So you should get a nice...
It was having a stroke.
Yeah, I was having a stroke before. Now it's, now we're stable. All right.
Talking onto meds, it's...
Yeah, no, we're all good. We're all good. All right, so I want to make sure that I'm on frame 1 whenever I start animation. And we're going to take a look at what this rig does and all the stuff that, makes up a rig. So if I look at my outliner over here, I have the ball rig, and that's the entirety of it. That's the geometry, that's the handles, that's everything that controls it. I can see sort of what makes up a rig. It's very basic, but it kind of gives you a good idea of what this stuff does, sort of the hierarchy of all of it. But if we look at the actual 3D perspective view, we've got these lines and shapes and all this stuff. If I click on any of this stuff, I should be able to move it. I should be able to rotate it. I should be able to... No, I should not be able to scale it. Scaling is bad for rig stuff because it affects things very differently than how you think it does. So all these things are what we refer to as handles. So the big yellow one, that's the overall handle. You're not really going to touch that too much. The second biggest one should be this blue one. This is the handle that you're going to be moving. This is the move control. So if I want to animate this ball going up and down, this is going to be the handle that I use to move it. The red handle right next to that, this is the rotation handle. The reason why some people rig this stuff to be a little bit different is so if I go and if I move this, and let's say I want to rotate this a little bit, I want to be able to do that independently from this one.
How are you moving it with the blue one? I click on it and try to move it, it doesn't.
So is the gizmo up?
No.
So you have to have the move gizmo up. So click on the handle, hit W, So you can have this, and that'll let you move it.
Oh,
So cool thing about all this stuff is that if I go, we could look at some real handles right now. That all the stuff that we've covered so far, that's just overall movement, rotation, all that stuff. Let's talk about deforming handles. So if I grab this top control and if I move it, it is squashing and it is stretching our ball.
How are you doing that?
I grab this little squiggly control up here.
The squiggly. Oh.
Yeah, I grab that, move it up, it'll stretch, move it down, it'll squash. And you could do the same thing with the bottom one. All right. Basically what Maya is set up to do with this is that this handle only controls a gradient of the ball. Like the influence is not 100%. If the influence was 100%, it would just move it up and down like this. That's not the case. It's a gradient of influence. So that's why we're able to get that squishiness. Okay, very useful in the future. That's kind of what our handles do. That's how we move stuff. That's how we rotate stuff. With big characters, every joint has a handle. Every individual bone's got a handle, so you can move things independently. We'll talk about character rigs later, but just for now, this is a super basic bouncy ball rig, and I want to make sure that everybody is quite acclimated to what a rig is and how to like actually animate with a rig in Maya. So if I click on any of these handles, if I go over to my attribute editor, if I click on my transform attributes, I have some stuff to do here. So I'm on frame 1. And if I go and if I select my my ball move control handle, that's that blue one right here. And let's say I want to move this up. Move it up to like a, I don't know, like 3.
Mr. P.
What?
Real quick, how did you get the transform attributes?
You just click on a handle, and then you just make sure you're on attribute editor, and then you should be clicked on this first little guy up here. Ball move control.
I don't see that on mine.
So did you click on this little guy right here?
Attribute editor?
Are you in the attribute editor?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're probably on like a different tab. So find one of the tabs that have your translate.
Like translate?
Yeah. Translate, rotate. So if you click on the first tab.
Oh, wait. I think I'm on it now.
Okay. So if I right click on the word translate, I get a couple options, all right? The thing that we want to look at the most is this thing right here. It's called set key. When I click on that, my numbers turn red. That means that we are recording this position in space on this frame. So if I go, I'm gonna go to frame 12, and if I move that down to, I don't know, let's just move it down to 0, right? Move that down to 0, and if I right click on it and hit set key again, and we look at the change in our graph editor, I have defined 2 points in 3D space and time where this ball has to be because of where I put the control and where I set those keys. What's wrong, Hayden?
Where did you say to click again when you were talking about?
You right click on the word, and then you hit set key. All right. So that what you're doing when you hit set key is that you're recording this attribute is set at this point at this time. So on frame 1, I have it set to be at 3, and on frame 12, I have it set to be at 0. All right? So you see how I move my timeline, you see how it's moving in between those two positions? All right. And if I go back to, so I was on frame 1, frame 12, and then if I go to frame 24, I set my position to 3 again, hit set key. I now should have a ball that bounces up and down in a loop. Okay. This,
Play it.
how do you play it? So there's this little play button down here.
Ah, okay.
I just hit play. All right, once you set the keys. Now, as far as like principles of animation go, dog water. The movement does not look good. It's just a linear in and out, up and down, up and down. It's got no life to it. It's very like plain looking. It doesn't look very good. All right. The thing with animation, and it's kind of really hard to grasp, especially when you're beginning doing this, because like all you're trying to do is move it. You're trying to figure out how to actually like click on the thing, set the key, and like keep yourself on track, because it's very easy to lose yourself. That's why I don't condone auto keying, which basically means like if you change your frame and then you change something on the rig, it does it for you. We don't want that for a lot of reasons, because you're going to get very lost very fast, and having to go through and prune keys that you didn't want is more of a headache than just like adopting a neat workflow for this stuff. And also like learning how the graph editor works. So if we look at this, I'm not worried about the 3D space right now. If we look at this green line right here, this represents translate Y, which is the up and the down. I can go and I can click on these keyframes, and I can change where the position is and the timing of it in my graph editor if I wanted to. All right, that's something that you can edit and fix. So like, let's say I'm going to give this a little bit more pizzazz. I'm going to key this really fast. I have that keyed. I'm going to move that up. I'm going to do the same thing. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to key that. Okay, so what I've done is I've told Maya, hey, I'm putting a key in here. I'm going to affect this key a little bit. And what it's doing is that it's kind of like lingering up at the top a little bit. And it's kind of like, you know when gravity gets a hold of a ball and it's like it goes really fast towards the floor, and then when it comes up off of the floor, it kind of like goes very slow before gravity gets a hold of it again, and then it brings it right back down to the floor, and then it gets really fast when it goes towards the floor, and then it just does that over and over again. That's all I did with adding those keyframes and then messing with the position. All right, you can, like if you go and you click on any of these keyframes, you'll see like little handles that come off of it. You can effectively do the same thing with that. I personally like doing it like this. That's just me. Because then you'll get funky results if you do it too weird. Let's go even crazier with it.
Let's go wacky.
Let's go wacky.
Let's go stupid.
Go stupid. Okay.
So I add that in. I've affected my graph. So now it's going from, very linear, very boring, and now it's like it looks like gravity is affecting it a little bit more than it was prior. Okay, that's the annoying part about animation. Okay, and I'll show you some of my animation work that I did in school that I was like really proud of, because I did it in a relatively short amount of time, but I think it's like super effective. And we could do frame by frame analysis on the animations. and just really kind of get into like the nitty gritty of what makes animation look good and like how to get those results. So a lot of it has to do with like you have to make it exist first, and then you have to tweak it, and then you have to like add stuff to it. You got to mess with the timing. A lot of it is messing with the timing. Okay? Cuz like all I did was I put 3 keyframes in on frame 1, frame 12, and frame 24. All right, those are my key frames. Those are my big changes. It's at the peak, at the bottom, and at the peak again. And then all I did was I went through and I messed with the timing by adding keyframes and then changing where those positions were. So you remember how the graph kind of looked like just like now it looks more like a sharp V. That's what I want. Okay. And now let's look at the squash and stretch handles. So at frame 1, I'm going to just hit set key, and I just want it to be neutral. I don't want it to be anything crazy. I'm going to go forward. And I'm going to say right before it impacts, I'm going to really stretch that handle out and set another key. So you kind of see how like the ball is like, it's almost like dripping towards because the gravity like wants it so bad. All right, then I'm going to look for my point of impact, which should be frame 12. And I'm going to squash this like crazy. Set key. Go to the next frame. Bring it out.
Maya crashed for me.
Oh, Maya crashed for you. Wow. That's not good. That's not good at all.
I crashed for you, Derek. How could you do this?
I tried to do a Control Z and it crashed.
Oh, yeah. It's entirely possible.
So that animation probably hasn't saved.
There might be a recovery file. You just got to open it.
Let's take a look. How did you get the 2 like panels here?
How did you get the
Never mind, I found it.
Okay. All right. So just by going and doing a keyframe on a couple of stuff and just like changing the timing on it, all I did was go in my basic movement and I keyed all of that stuff. And I
Wait, real quick, what is it graph edited? Yeah.
yes, you're wanting graph editor.
Yeah, it didn't save any of the animation I got.
Okay, you're just gonna have to redo it really fast. It shouldn't take too long. Okay, just by going and keyframing the whatchamacallit, the movement key, and just like putting in just a basic squash and stretch, I'm able to sort of give a little bit more life to this bouncy ball. And I actually want to affect this just a little bit more because I don't like how that's not looping as good. Just by doing those couple things, we are able to get a like looping, bouncing ball, right? And it's got a little bit of life to it. Looks a little bit more than just a ball that's going. That's kind of the importance of the 12 principles of animation. Okay, so there's no turn in today. I just want you guys to sort of play with the rig, and like understand what the keyframes do, how to set keys, how to like, move those keys in the graph editor, how to like retime stuff. Just play with it, okay? I encourage you to break it. I encourage you to crash Maya, all right? This is just a basic how to get animation set up and like how to do the basic functions of doing animation, okay? So just go crazy, break it as much as you want, and yeah, that's it.